everyone, welcome to Real Stocks live stream. We are going to be doing live streaming today of stocks. Imagine that. So NASDAQ, let's go down to, I'm going to pull up my Thinkorswim. Hopefully it doesn't crash my entire system. I really don't like doing TradingView. My list of stocks here is pitiful. I haven't even looked at some of these. Okay, so SQ's finally down. Tesla still won't go away. Q's looks like they took a gap down, but according to the futures, we're actually not too bad on a volume perspective. So this could be some kind of a bottom. But at the same time, we still don't have a follow-through day. We're looking for a follow-through day at this stage from here on out, unless we undercut this low, in which case our day count starts over again. Take a look at JD. Take a look at Alibaba. Not in that order. DBX, Dropbox. Hey, what's up, Rob? Yeah, SQ not doing so hot today. Undercutting. Well, with the market still bearish, it is what it is. We're still in a correction. We haven't had our follow-through day, and today, so far, appears to be like an expansion day lower. At the same time, there's kind of a large gap here. We'll see if we're going to fill any of this gap. You can see we're towards the top here on my candle currently. Yeah, I think it's 1 to 1.5%. They like to see 1.5%, but I've seen 1.25% follow through days. 1% is probably a minimum criteria. Yeah. And it's not average volume. It's higher than the previous day's volume. So in other words, like this would, if this was a green day up 1%, this would qualify because it's over the prior day's volume. It doesn't matter if it's above or below average volume. So on my 2-hour chart here, we've got, I think Thinkorswim is jacked up. And like close processes and stuff. Anyway. Yeah, so you see this trend line here on my 2-hour chart? We had that big topping candle right there, and then most volume dried up since then. We have slowly undercut this since yesterday, this little trend line here, and we've been likening this drop possibly to, if you remember, our earlier drop from the bear market. Right here, we've been likening it to this first drop. So there's a possibility that, we're going to have a further expansion lower. Yeah, see? Yeah, I do like the follow 3-day rule. That's really one of the key things to IBD, I think, that they've done really well. So you see here, this one sliced through the trend line here. Took a few more days before the next big drop. And then, so we could do something like that. We could draw another trend line over the top just to kind of keep things in check, as this kind of did right there a little bit. Right about there. Took a couple days for that first top part of the trend line to form, but overall we got under this very first dead cat bounce. There's a decent possibility that that's what we're in right now, or just exiting out of, is the dead cat bounce phase. And if we were to draw a line on the top of this, it would obviously be a much shorter line. But something, whoops, didn't mean to do that. There we go. Something like that. You can maybe draw the trend line across here and, you know what, I wonder. Crosshair, dry, there we go. Cool. So now let's see how we're doing. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so if we hold below this, then we're probably still headed lower. This also looks a little bit like an H pattern. We're trying to fulfill some of this H down here. Dow Jones down 4%. Dow Jones has been all over the place, man. Some of the biggest percentage moves I remember seeing in the Dow Jones. Keep in mind, I really haven't paid that much attention to the Dow Jones for the past, I don't know, 8 to 12 years, something like that. So I don't know specifically, but so very, 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 very crazy down moves. So kind of see. Let's look at a little bit of the difference between this bottom here, which we spiked lower, bounced higher, then continued, versus this one where we spiked lower, bounced higher, and immediately went lower. So here's a big up day. We could be in this day here. I think volume is going to be a little bit of a key factor at this stage of the game. If we don't get that increased volume to the downside, then we will likely have ourselves a reversal at some stage. Not to say the coronavirus, we can't come up with another news article, but just depends. Julius with 100% cash, believing in the coronavirus. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting because, like, if this was a global pandemic of airborne Ebola, right, that would be a completely different situation. Coronavirus, while it is highly contagious, doesn't appear to be extraordinarily lethal. So it's interesting, but they're still going to try to contain the virus versus let it spread globally and kill 2% of the world's population. I get it. I get it. They don't want that to happen, but I almost feel like, they're definitely going to keep the spread contained to more than the 7-8 billion people in the globe. It'll probably get to 1 billion people, which will end up killing, 20 million people? If it gets that big, it's pretty big. And, but they're going to shut airlines down. I was thinking yesterday, at least in the U.S., they're, like, new U.S. cases, they're in the double digits. They're not exploding exponentially. Oh, come on, you piece of garbage. Really? You're going to make me subscribe to see the damn coronavirus map? So 6 people have died in the U.S. It's not like we have a super, super massive outbreak in the U.S. They're doing a decent job of containing it. So, I don't think it's going to be that explosive. Most people have none. We got a couple here, a couple there, a couple more over here. It's not too bad. Converb cases global map. So, yeah, quite a few. Looks like every continent on the globe. Not sure why. None are in Alaska. Not too many people going to Africa. Russia has it. I'm pretty sure these guys have it. %? Oh, that's scary. So let's take a look at Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, down about 2%. United Airlines. Let's check out UAL. Further downside. Delta Airlines just getting worse too. Delta Airlines with some big bounces there, but I think Buffett bought too soon. You got your thing for your friend?
Yeah.
So be nice to him. Tell him, hey, thank you very much. If you know anyone else that needs some of these, let me know, and I'll give you a discount on another one or something like that. Okay?
Okay, but I need discounts.
Bye, James. Love you. Kiss here. Kiss here. Kiss here. Kiss here. Ethan, today's gold or blue day. You got green on. Can you go change your shirt real quick?
I don't have any gold or blue.
You have no blue? Okay. All right, guys.
Your backpack's open.
Do you have yellow? It is.
Bye, Mommy.
Bye, Daddy.
Love you.
I love you too.
107 today in Norway. Really? I was not so sure how that, goes up to the stock market. Okay, so Zoom today down about 5%. Big up day yesterday. A very interesting price action Zoom. It's a little bit all over the place. We noted, I'm not sure if it was here in my Crypto Power Hour. I went through this list, and Zoom wasn't selling off. It had this big day here, this big outside day, but it wasn't selling off. And it looks like we've already eclipsed the high of that. So that's pretty much a little bit of a nothing burger for right now. So still doing pretty good. DBX, which is Dropbox, big spike up. That may have been earnings, I don't recall actually, and then a move lower. On my other screen here, let's look at it up here. Oh, I don't have my password on this profile. Fed set to slash rates again. Stop slashing rates, you fucking idiots. Russia risk oil collapses, stunning ultimatum backfires. Ooh, this is interesting. What's a stunning ultimatum that backfires? This is drama. Crude oil prices plunge ahead of OPEC meeting on Friday as Russian officials won't back a deeper production cut to counteract a massive drop in demand by the coronavirus. Russian officials told Reuters that Moscow won't support OPEC's call to deepen production cuts, will only approve extending current cuts. What is oil doing? I haven't been paying attention to oil. 44. Oh, wow. Wow. Is that all coronavirus? Did this start at the beginning of 2020? From 65 to 44? That's pretty big. Let's go weekly. So we're towards the lower part of this range. We've had support at 40, it appears. With a spike in 2016 down to the 30s. I heard that jet fuel is in extraordinarily low demand. So there's the peak oil getting up to about 150. Crazy crash down. Wish I would have traded that. Now we're getting back. So that 40 has held pretty good for lows. That's been support going all the way back. If we break that, yeah, that's really bad. And part of this likely could be wind and solar actually coming in. And natural gas is super cheap too. So they could be using, natural gas in terms of large energy production, maybe instead of oil for those that actually do that, if they can get natural gas there. But natural gas looks like undercutting getting down to multi-year lows about 150, give or take. I'm not sure where we were there in 99, but I mean, it's really funny with all this inflation happening. You would think that natural gas prices would have doubled in the past 20 years. We'd be sitting up here at least 5, but we're not. Our average for the past 5 years, which would be here, is about 3 or something. So very interesting. You see the shift into solar and wind. And the amount of energy produced actually by alternatives, electricity generated by alternative energy. Is actually decently significant now. 2018 renewables, nuclear, coal, natural gas, and it's the only 1% petroleum. So one of the biggest uses for petroleum is actually jet fuel, which is down really bad. Jet fuel prices are down huge, I heard on the radio. As of January 2015. Yeah, thank you for all that pertinent information. Yeah, it's not really a chart. Anyway, RCL, ready for a short squeeze? What's RCL? Royal Caribbean. Holy Jesus. 140 down to 60. Yeah, I missed some good shorting opportunities. The measured move on this is stupid, by the way. From 107 to 70, it's about 37 bucks. So 82 minus 37, it's too much for my head right now. 45. So 45 is your measured move down to there. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see about a short squeeze. Market really appears to be in free fall right now. We haven't seen really anything like this and since the year and a half ago, not quite a year and a half ago, during this, which was China FUD, and it was the Fed FUD. China FUD, Fed FUD, and the Fed FUD was really stupid, childish stuff that we're going through right now. Norwegian Air's nearly, actually, I am listening to the radio yesterday, heard a couple stories. One was about jet fuel. The other was about, I think it was Australian airline that went bankrupt because they were already having money problems. So yeah, this is going to kill any RAG Norwegian Air. I don't think they're on the NYSE, but yeah, short this bitch into the dirt. Just short it. And they go bankrupt, you don't have to, you just keep all the money. But it does, hold your margin requirement open for as long as that takes. NAS? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I found it. I'm in the U.S., so I always look to see if there's U.S. stuff so I can try to get involved. But not the case here. I would have to short Dallas or U.S. Airways or Save, which is Spirit Airlines. Or Southwest, which is Love. Southwest actually faring better than most at this stage of the game. Of course, they don't have any international exposure. That's probably one of the reasons. They're probably a lot less likely. Actually, hold on a second. No, it should be Spirit Airlines. Or it should be Southwest. Oh, LUV. There we go. Okay, so they're dropping too, but yeah, still you can see here they're a domestic carrier, so they don't have as much exposure. So they would really have to close travel within the U.S., which I think is very highly unlikely at this stage of the game. Now, I mentioned a while ago, if you start seeing cases explode in the U.S., maybe they'll close domestic travel. But I just find that highly, highly unlikely because you're going to have to fly medical professionals around and all kinds of things like that. So domestic airlines will probably do much better than like your Delta, which has just been destroyed, and United, which has just been destroyed. BCRX. Oh, Biopharm. Yeah, it looks like actual, the volume's not quite right, but an inverted head and shoulders here. You should have more volume on the left shoulder than the right shoulder, but it's a biotech, so most rules go out the windows on on biotechs. Zoom down 7% now. It was down 2% earlier. NASDAQ kind of getting off. Lufthansa has 25% of its fleet on the ground. That's funny. My mother-in-law just bought tickets for us to Ireland. She wants us to go to Ireland bad this year. She lives there, and she wants to see her grandkids, so she bought tickets for the whole family. I'm like, sweet. In July, so hopefully this is all done before July. Actually, hopefully, well, she already bought the tickets, so probably won't get any cheaper. I was going to say she could have bought the tickets cheaper. Maybe. So on the 2-hour chart, you can see the first 2 hours of the market here. Let's go to the 15-minute for right now. So, couple of trend lines here keeping us down. We'll see if that's going to continue. Anything under these are easy holds. Anything past these get a little bit more difficult. Yeah, yeah. You know what? Summer is. That's a good point, Julius. A lot of people have spoken about the hotter weather, and we're in what, the beginning of March right now. So there's a possibility we only have a month more of this. I mean, the market will bottom well before that, and that could lead to rebounding stock market prices if the coronavirus gets tamped down. Like flu season, for instance, I think it ends in March or April. April tapers off, but always tapers off by April. So we may only have a few more weeks left of this, and I guess the main question is, is the coronavirus going to succumb? Um, I guess, is the flu a coronavirus? I just want to know if they have like the same base stuff. 89,000 illnesses, 3,000 deaths. Oh, common cold, dark coronas as well. Gotcha. Okay, so there's no similarities at all. So I guess the question is it gonna? I wonder if they've done any tests with that. SARS stop with the summer heat. SARS response timeline. Lessons from SARS. How the corona epidemic could end. Lessons from SARS. God damn it! Everyone wants me to pause my damn ad blocker. I don't even know where it is. Where is it? Spread quickly to 10 to 11, 10 to 20% of the global population. Wow. Yeah, H1N1 didn't really kill anyone. Not too many people, at least. Yeah, point oh 0.01 to point oh 0.03. Oh, killed 12,000 people in the U.S. in the first year period. Infected 60 million cases and caused 250,000 hospitalizations. Wow. Maybe we just live with it. How fast it spreads, how prepared we are, and the virus's rate. Oh my god, you can fill up a third of my screen with stuff? Come on, give me the end result. What are we going to learn? Freaking weirdos. There's zoonotic. Coronavirus, they spread from animals to humans. SARS spread from cats to humans. MERS from bats to camels to humans. That's a weird one. So we need to find the animal it started with to stop it, apparently. No one knows that the virus will be affected with seasons like the flu. Okay, so yeah, I guess that's part of the part of what we're dealing with here is the uncertainty of that. Yeah. Julie saying experts in Norway said it will be like influenza or common cold that we have to live with for the rest of our lives. Okay, well apparently H1N1 or the swine flu, those kind of had similar things where, you know, we just saw that I think it was SARS. UAL up 2% now. Interesting. DAL also up 2%. Wonder if there was a an event or something. He's got a nice reprieve from selling on these names. Yeah, Royal Caribbean. What would you mention? AC. Jake's talking about ACB. Let's take a look at ACB. Aurora Cannabis. You know, it's just one of those things. How can it keep falling? Because it's falling. It becomes. It's called momentum, right? Generally, I'm considered a momentum trader. You guys probably also momentum traders. When you see momentum, you know, if you're a bottom buyer, momentum can kill you because of continuous new bottoms. Yeah, it just keeps falling because there's selling pressure. Yeah, it's pretty easy. If you stay out of these types of stocks, you usually will not be hurt too bad. Let's see what MJ is doing. Probably very similar. Yeah, right there. Bottom fell out under 16 with the coronavirus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Yeah, it's not so bueno. Not bueno at all. Well, I'm not sure if it means bankruptcy. 1.5 billion market cap. Sales is 3% quarter over quarter. They don't really have a lot of stuff up here. Yeah, there's not a lot of fundamentals to try to figure stuff out at all at this stage of the game. How do you know a PE if you don't know any earnings? So yeah, MJ stock's gonna have to wait for another day to have their day. All right, I wanted to check on bond yields wilt. So right now it looks like it's a bond play as the bond yields wilt. The stocks are going down too. That's weird. Bonds are weird. Wow. AMD not too bad, up 35% from a base though, so that's in profit-taking territory. OCTA is a new buy point. Again, market's in a correction, so taking positions at this stage of the game is difficult. But yeah, there's definitely a buy point right there, 143.30 it looks like. What else you bottom buy, Jake? What are you bottom buying here? I put Jake. I guess the question is, are you buying? Is this just a one little leg pop right there? What about CGC? Well, a lot of these MJ stocks are actually outside of the U.S. CGC. Yeah, see, most of these had no fundamentals. We did this a while back when we looked at the we were looking at PE ratios and stuff, but we couldn't find on a lot of them. This one at 5.8 billion. The whole sector it's just you watch the sector until the whole thing rebounds. Things move within themes, and right now MJ hasn't been in vogue for a while. What's up, Eli? Real Eli? Yeah, I need to put out another real crypto video. I gotta do my one about Bitcoin Cash. The video about Bitcoin Cash you should look out for coming out for me. I gotta do that. I'm trying to get open up a Trello board yesterday for things for me to do. You wish you were real. Well, I've never seen you in person, Eli, so I can't say that you are real. I think you're fake. I don't know. Talk to Eli. He knows. All right, so we had that trend line a little bit earlier we put on there. So far, we've stalled right there at the open. We'll see what happens throughout the rest of the day. On the daily chart here, it looks like an H pattern. For those of you just joining, we went through this a little bit ago, but I'll repeat it again. So forming an H right here, and where did my trend line go? That's probably not. It's probably on the Qs. There it is. Drop by at my place. I got a couch for you to sleep on. That's about it. You can sleep in the hot tub and get you a floating head pillow or something. So that break right there, yeah, yellow's 200, Rob. This is the daily. This is the it's supposed to be the 2 hour, but I'm on the 15-minute because it's the stock market. There's not enough time in the day, so I got to go a smaller time frame. Actually, Eli, if you're actually planning a road trip, yeah, you can stop by, dude. Absolutely. Unless you're going to punch me in the face. Then that probably wouldn't be such a great idea. For you. Oh, work? You can work in the hot tub too. Just get one of those new fancy waterproof laptops that don't exist yet, I don't think. I think Panasonic has some pretty rugged ones. I'm not sure if they're waterproof though. iPhones are waterproof. Why don't they have waterproof, yeah, they should have waterproof stuff like that. Well, if you're going to do it for free, Eli, usually I pay good money for that service. Usually it's a pretty hefty bill. Microsoft down 4% today. That's pretty aggressive for top tier stock right here. So got back to the 50-day. Pretty good bottom bounce right there, but giving it up today, that's not very encouraging. It is very, I do find it interesting though. That none of the other viruses that came out have had near this effect on the stock market. I can't remember. We went back and looked at, I think it was SARS, and there was no effect on the stock market. Zero effect on the stock market. It started going up, as a matter of fact. So, SQ. All right, Rob, we'll jump in here. Well, dude, you mentioned earlier down 1.5%. It could bounce on you. I mean, you could give it to the 200-day, but I mean, you're back into the base at this stage of the game. You're pretty deep in the base right now. Your risk-reward ratio is gone. So it may get a bounce. I guess it just depends how far you're willing to let it go. I mean, if the market comes back, Square's likely to come back as well. Oh, did it have earnings? I don't have earnings. I think I could get earnings on here. So there's about 8% to a supportive trend line on Square, but still within the range. That's a tough one, man. You probably should have got out this early at about break even or something like that. Break even on a situation like this is good. You know, when the market's in a correction, I look to exit positions. That's not something you're supposed to do per IBD standards, but I really just look to get out and step aside, then wait to reload, because I don't want to be involved during the market's, early 20s, where it's your discovery phase. Like, who am I? I wonder who I am. I'm just going to go bang every dude in the bar just to figure it out. You know, I don't want to be that girl's boyfriend. She's going to get pregnant, and I love her, so I got to raise this kid that's some, big Russian dude that came to my house to say hi, but ended up knocking up my girlfriend at the bar, and I got to raise this kid, and he's sleeping in my hot tub. I don't want to be in that situation, so I tend to step aside. I mean, it's loosely at a support area. There's a little bit of support here with these two highs, so you could wait that out a little bit. But I mean, if the market continues to drop, you may take your cues from Square and the market. Eli, you seem like a nice guy. Well, actually, you don't. You kind of seem like an asshole, but I like assholes, so you're lucky. Yep. I go. It's funny. I'm sure you guys have seen Tosh point out. He says all the time, I keep going with my jokes until there's one member of the audience laughing. That's how I work. I just go deeper and deeper until people are like, what the F is this dude talking about? That's how I roll. How's Apple doing here? Unable to break past the 50. A gap down past the 50. And still bounced well above the 200. 810. Okay, I gotta rally. I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. So still working on making Thinkorswim stable on Ubuntu. Other than that, I actually really like Ubuntu. I gotta say, other than randomly shutting down on me whenever the hell it feels like, I do rather like Ubuntu. I think it's pretty quick too. Like, it's very responsive. It's a fifth of the size of, about half the size of Windows actually. So all right, so the market this morning looks like we did rebound a little bit there. So like I said, things will be easy if we can keep out of the way of this trend line. If it gets out of that trend line, you're probably looking at this trend line for some resistance, which could take us quite a bit higher. But that would still keep us with lower highs and in this H pattern. So there's danger. And if we take out this, I'm gonna close here reiterating the follow through day rules. If you undercut the low of the market correction, the day starts over. So this is day 0, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. This is when you can start looking for a follow-through day, which is 1% plus up on an elevated volume day from the previous day. So, market plan for the weekend. Oh, it is Friday, huh, Rob? Oh, I hate weekends. Crypto's kind of good from that regard. Try Fedora or Mint. Okay, maybe I'll do that. I got 4 hard drives. I could spin up another one pretty easily. I'll give it a go. I just know there's a lot of support out there for Ubuntu. Yeah, so I don't know about that. The market could gap up or down 4 or 5% either way. It's really a crapshoot, Rob. It really honestly is. I mean, the news lately out of the coronavirus hasn't been that bad. Congress came out with this $8 billion deal to combat the coronavirus. It's going to take a while to get that money into the hands and see some results. So, I don't know. That's a tricky one. That's a tricky one. Maybe if you've got a good profit, you can step aside. So, you can take partial profits if you have a profitable position. Wait till the end of the day today, maybe see how it goes. Yeah. I mean, we're in a situation where we could end up with a follow-through day today, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. We have the average volume right now. So if we get some good news and we don't undercut this low and we go, 1% higher than the previous day, you're going to end up with a follow-through day if we have higher volume. And so that's the thing to look for getting back into positions. Usually, though, before a follow-through day, you will see some leading stocks start to rebound. And those leading stocks, at this stage, I don't know what category is leading the market, to be honest with you right now. I know the cloud stocks were really in vogue this last go around, so could be the cloud stocks that step back into leadership. Where's the paper? Where's the paper? I'm trying to find the IBD paper. 100% in cruise line and airline stocks. Yeah, right, Rob? See, here's the thing. The things that do get beaten down the most do come back pretty hard. Look at that. UAL up 5%. So they're taking a little bit of, they're eating some right here. That's in DAL Delta right here as well. They are buying some here under prior low right there. So it's undercut and rally right there on Delta. Yeah, I completely agree with you, actually. The question is, when is it over? That's the question. This could just be a short covering rally, and we could roll right back over again as other people enter into short positions. But Tesla short? Really? Yeah, I guess it does look like it kind of wants to have another leg lower, doesn't it? That's not too bad, actually. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. A little gap down this morning, maybe some extension. I will say this about Tesla, and then I'm going to bail. Listening to the last conference call, he was pretty confident that the hurdle that Tesla has to get over, which is making enough batteries for all these products at the scale that they're wanting to be at, is their major impediment right now. He says they have to solve the density and the scale problem. And he said that like 2 or 3 times. Just no one asked about it. It's just what he mentioned, because that's how his mind works. He goes to the problem and tries to solve the big problem. And that's the big problem right now, which is another reason why I'm not just holding my Tesla, because I could buy right now at a better price than I sold it at. But I'm not doing that because there is this underlying problem. And if you look at the bigger picture in Tesla, if you look at their weekly and go back, right, they have this history of basing for years. Basing for years here, a huge run. Basing for years, a huge run. Basing for years, a huge run. Maybe we do it again. Maybe we base for a couple of years while he solves that big battery problem. And then maybe in 2023, he'll come out with the solution. We'll have this dip, and we'll buy the dip. And the dip will be down here to 5 or 400. Maybe down here to 400. And then we'll rally back up and from 1,000 to 4,000 or 3,000 or 6,000 or whatever. So battery day is coming. Yeah, he hasn't announced it yet, though. He said April, I think is what he said during the conference call, Eli. He said April. And it makes a lot of sense. They can only produce as many cars as they can produce batteries. So they really have to get this battery thing solved. They're working on density problem, then you manufacturing problem. Manufacturing at that scale problem. So no, I don't think it's enough, Rob. I don't think it's enough batteries. He said it was an exponential problem. So it's going to be, when Elon talks exponential, listen, because the dude is a physics major and he knows what he's talking about. So I'll take him at his word that this battery problem is very, very difficult to solve. I'll take him at his word on that one. The dude doesn't lie. He may be off on his estimates as far as when projects are going to get done, but he doesn't lie. And that was one of my main takeaways from that conference call, was that they just came to the realization. They thought their bottleneck was manufacturing. They've addressed that bottleneck with them building these gigafactories. Now they have to deal with the engineering of building the batteries at the scale and the density required. And he said the engineering on that was very, very difficult. So I'm going to take him with his word on that. All right, guys, I'm going to bail. I'm going to get out of here. Yeah, airline stocks could do pretty good again. Look for dead cat bounces, look for short covering rallies, and try to avoid those and look for the real thing. Trend lines can kind of help you with that, kind of keep you out of that. The market, bouncing back a little bit here. We'll see what's going to happen. But I guess it is a Friday, so it's going to be what it's going to be. I don't see any major changes coming from the coronavirus. It's just going to be more of the same. You'll probably see a few more outbreaks, maybe another research paper. But if there's a lull on the weekend, that could be pretty bullish, meaning that we don't have a bunch of new cases. But if you see a couple of bad news articles drop, you bet your ass Sunday's going to be down. All right, everyone, have a good day. I will see you hopefully on Monday. I know I've been a little skittish with my streams because of my thing here, and yesterday because of my kids, but trying to be here every day if I can. So, all right, guys, I will see you then. Have a good one. Have a good weekend. Bye.